As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one that worked while they all played. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors that build this town. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors that build this town. From dust. From dust.
Well, welcome back to Peace TV, our feature for the week. The ultimate challenge that the Dolphins face the Bills after the disappointing loss to the Ravens. Co-host Sammy, with our co-host Steve Hallett, and the Peace TV crew of Armstrong and Eddie Chaput. The Dolphins certainly disappointed during the last week, but our goals are still achievable. The Dolphins in the playoffs. If they win on Sunday Night Football, they will win the AFC East, have play a home game at Miami, and we'll go from there. So I want to start with Steve. It was a certain disappointment, but the Dolphins still can do some damage. Still have some plans to play the playoffs, so to win the division. So certainly not all. If you ask me, not all hope is lost.
No, absolutely not. And I'll try to make my best case here that all hope is not lost. There's no doubt. Bottom line, a division championship this year would be an absolutely a great accomplishment. You know, you've got to ask yourself how many injuries are too many injuries to key players to overcome. What are the odds of the Dolphins being who the Dolphins have been the last couple of years, winning a primetime game when all the eyes and all the lights are on us? The reality is the Bills are a fallible team just as much as we are. You know, there is no team out there, maybe other than the Ravens the last few weeks here, that can't be beat. And that's been proven. So, I mean, the biggest thing here is the Dolphins didn't just set their goals on saying, hey, we want to make the playoffs. If that was the case, they would have sat all their players the past couple of weeks because we've been locked up since the Dallas game. You know, there's absolutely no reason to say that we don't have an opportunity to go out there and prove the national naysayers wrong, a lot of our fan base wrong, and go out there and do something that they themselves have set out to do. I think that the second seed in the NFL is an incredible accomplishment no matter what. And going back to the naysayer type mindset of what's out there, I don't think anybody gives the Dolphins a chance to get there. Certainly nobody gave them a chance to be in this position from the get-go. Very, very few did, if any. And if the Dolphins were to be that second seed and were to go out there and put that stamp on a season with these injuries, with the adversity that they've faced, and go out there and prove that they do belong with that home field advantage and the AFC East crown, would we earn that respect? I don't think that there's any team, at least no, who's going to win the NFC second seed? The Cowboys, the Lions? You think that either of them are going to get disrespected as a team that's a fraud, as a team that doesn't belong? I don't think so. But I think we've seen a lot on the Hard Knocks here. This team isn't playing for the national respect. They don't care about that. They're playing for each other. So I think that if they can go out there and put together the game that we know that they're capable of, put together 4 quarters, all 3 phases of the game, it's an absolutely monumental accomplishment. And I hope for this team, I hope for the fan base, but I hope for this team that they get what they've been working so hard for since they first got together in mini camps earlier this year.
So many great points. You're right on the money. A lot of the pundits didn't get the Dolphins any chance, not to win the division, not to even make the playoffs. So Matt has said it so many times before. Matt, I'm going to go to you. You've been all right on the money on that. Most of the media didn't give the Dolphins a chance to even make the playoffs, and the Dolphins are in the door. Certainly, if they win on Sunday, being the number 2 seed, win the division, and we'll go from there.
Let's talk about perspective for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And like Steve just said, and Sammy, you just echoed, they were picked to be last in the division after they were in the playoffs a year ago with all of the chaos they had with injuries to the number 1 guy. They were still picked to be last. Is that disrespect? No, I just think it's people writing stuff in chalk, because the Bills, the Jets, the Patriots. But let's talk about reality. The Dolphins are 11-5 right now. If this was the old 16-game schedule, they're AFC East division champs right now. Who's leading the league in passing yardage? The league, not the conference, not the division, the league. That's right. Number 1 is leading the league. Who's leading the league in receiving? Okay, that guy's. Who just set a team record in touchdowns scored? Raheem Mostert. Dude's 31 years old. They've exceeded the experts. They've exceeded everything the experts ever said was going to happen. Injuries are a part of life. This is the NFL. And I can't remember the dude's name, but he said it's not for long, right? He said that, and nothing's ever been more true. And these guys are playing for themselves. They don't care about Shannon Sharp and whether or not Tua kept his receipts. They don't care about Colin Cowherd and his inflammatory smugness. They don't care about that. They care about each other. And you can see that every single game. Last week was awful. And I'm willing to bet that they feel the exact same way because of a missed opportunity to show that they belong with the number 1 team in the league. Steve and I had a disagreement earlier today. I think that the same result happens if they played in Miami. Steve is adamant that that is a complete fallacy. And, I could probably be convinced that he's right. Ultimately, though, this team is in place. I love this reference because it's such an old reference for those of us who have been on Twitter since 2009. In the hunt. In the hunt. How many years have we been in the hunt leading up to this coming week? The end of the regular season. In the hunt. And Barry Jackson, if this happens and that happens and that guy and this happens, oh my God, we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. The Miami Dolphins are in the playoffs. Put it together, all 3 phases. You've got the number 1 quarterback passing yards. You got the number 1 receiver. Here's hoping that his running mate is healthy enough to play on Sunday. You've got the touchdown record holder hopefully coming back. These knuckleheads on social media that go off about fire them. I saw a guy that wanted Fangio fired. He wanted McDaniel fired. He wanted Tua cut. He literally wanted everybody gone. That baffles me because it's so dumb. If you are a fan of this team, you cannot possibly have anything other than positive feelings. They're in the playoffs. Anything can happen. Who remembers Mostert going off for 200 plus yards with the 49ers several years ago? I'd never even heard the guy, and he used to be a Dolphin. He used to be a Dolphin. Who is this Raheem Mostert guy? Once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. And I'm going to hedge my bet by saying this: regardless of what happens on Sunday night, and God is my witness, I really hope we smoke Buffalo because, with the exception of one person, they have the worst fan base on the history of the planet. I hope
Love
to
you, Mom.
God we smoke them. But if we don't, Dolphins Nation, we're still in the playoffs where anything can happen.
Absolutely. If you go back to the beginning of the season, where the Jets were told to be, they want to win, they were going to win the division, the Bills were the champions. Nobody was talking about the Dolphins. If you told the fan base that you had the opportunity to win the AFC East Championship on the last game in Miami, on the first
Yes.
game of the season, most fans would have taken the opportunity. It's all about perspective. If you go back and you say after we lost to the Ravens, we're down. But if you go back and when the season started, everybody was picking the Jets and no one was picking the Dolphins, and they told you you had the chance to be the second seed and win the division. If you win one game at home versus the Bills, 90% of the Dolphins fans would have taken that shot. More than 90% would have taken the shots. It's all about perspective. So I truly believe everything the Dolphins have wanted, all the fan base have wanted, is still within reach. It's hard with the losses. It's certainly hard, but there's still a lot. I still, I for sure have no lost all hope. So I want to go to Eddie. Eddie, and I know it's rough. I know it's difficult. We had great expectations. I'm guilty of believing my own hype. I certainly had. I had dreams of Super Bowls aspirations, and you can feel that we were on that momentum. Right now, it's blurry. You don't know what's going to happen. But I certainly believe that there's still they have a chance. But I want to know your thoughts about where the Dolphins are headed right now.
Um, I believe what was the over or under, whatever you want to call it, from Vegas? 9.5 wins for
Yeah.
the Dolphins,
Yeah.
and I think
I think some even less. Mhm.
yeah, some were less, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, I had them, I think, winning 11 or 12, so they're right where my expectations were before the season. Because if you remember, all these idiots now saying their schedule is so easy, it was ranked the second hardest schedule in the league before the season.
Yes.
You don't know who you're going
Yes.
to play till you play them, what they're going to be. That's why preseason crap, like Matt said in basketball, like Duke is always ranked up there, or Notre Dame's always ranked up there in college football. Stuff like that happens all the time. You don't know. They're at 11 wins. They can have 12 wins. They can win their division. I think where what I'm guilty of getting so mad is they were you get so up because they beat Dallas. I don't care if it was at home. Dallas supposedly stinks on the road. They beat a good team, so you want them to go out and follow it up and beat another good team with the Ravens. Everything's right there for them. I just if you like you just said, if you would have told me they're 11-5, they're going into the last week, they can win the division, they're already in the playoffs. Hell yeah, I take it.
Yeah.
You're freaking a right, I take it. And like Matt just brought me back around to just be in the playoffs. Maybe you get a couple of them guys back healthy. Maybe Baker comes back. Maybe Hunt is fully healthy. You know, Mostert, Waddle. That's a big difference on that field. No matter if you're away, if you're at home. So yeah, they're right where they need to be, especially if they win this week. I hope they do, just so they get that home game, because God knows the city of Miami, not all the so-called fans deserve it, but the ones that are there every game deserve a home
Mhm.
game. and I'd love for him to just whip up on somebody at a home playoff game.
Absolutely. That's a great point. So many fans that go to those stalls every single Sunday, support the team, buy season tickets. They're over there. They deserve a home win. Hopefully, the Dolphins will find a way to bring it. Stephen, any last thoughts about that?
No, well, Eddie, one really good point, one bad one. I'll have to get the bad one out of the way first. I'm just really curious as to why you placate to Matt's hate for Duke.
I
You
like
constantly deride. Yeah, you like him, but you just say, "Hey, Matt, I'm going to play into your dislike for them." And you always make him laugh and smile. But me, you always put down my Florida Gators. I will find out where you live, just so we're clear. But anyway,
I gave you the address. Come on over, man.
come on, bring it, bring it.
What part?
You
What did Eddie
walk
say
over
that
here,
was
we're going to go back with a
untrue?
limp, huh?
I'm leaving Florida on Tuesday. If you're gonna go at it, please do it before the time because I want to be in. Thank
So
you.
what did Eddie
Please go
say
ahead,
that
Steve.
was inaccurate?
I'm just saying, he's always making you smile and like he shake his head. He's always making me defend my Florida Gators.
I have gone off on every North Carolina quarterback that's ever been drafted as being jumped. Have I not?
As you should, because they are. But
Just like when Matt said, whatever this guy is, Fake May, is that his name? Is going to be the best quarterback.
Okay, to your good point. Eddie, to your good point here, I might hold on a second, Matt. Let me finish up here real quick. Not only did the Dolphins beat a very good team that was the national sweetheart in Dallas, they beat who is primed to be the number 2 seed in the NFC.
Yes.
They win this week. They are the number 2 seed in the NFC. So if we win, when we win against Buffalo with a statement win and secure that home game, which seriously gives me chills, almost as many chills as that opening motivational video you showed there, Sammy. You shared it with me earlier, gave me chills. The second time around was no less. It was just incredible. So your work is always exciting for that. But in any case, no, they didn't just beat a great Dallas team. They beat a team that is primed to be the 2nd seed in the NFC. Matt, I'll let you go ahead now.
Hey, when you send
Go ahead,
Steve
Matt.
your address, can you send it to me too?
Everybody's welcome.
Hold on a second.
Again,
Hold
guys.
on. Javonte Williams just scored another touchdown against the U.
Oh,
I
man.
can't say
If you're
anything.
gonna look at it, please do it before Tuesday.
Are we going to do this for college football too?
We
Because
should.
it's on then.
Well, we can do a spin-off. That's said we can do that. We certainly have a couple of good weeks. The feature for the show has certainly go over 6,000 views every single week for the last 3 weeks. We really appreciate it. We
That's
we can reach
fantastic.
us on social media, on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We have even a playlist of the songs we use on the show. So if you're on Apple Music, you can download the playlist and you can listen to the same shows that inspired the Fins TV headlines. So it's been a great year for Dolphins football. So a lot of things happened. The culture has started to change for good. I truly believe we're on the steps of a whole new era of Dolphins football. So many new fans, so many kids now are now Dolphins fans from not only from Florida, from all over the world are right now Dolphins fans. So on the bright side, it's been was a really good year. 2023 was a really good year for the Dolphins. I still not have lost any faith. I still think the Dolphins have a good chance.
Agreed. No,
Thanks,
you bring
thanks.
up a very good point
Please,
that I was just going to say. You bring up a very good point that
please.
winning in an environment like this, it creates a new generation of fans, and I think it's incredible to see all the different social media of people, their babies and their children and their grandchildren, everybody with Dolphins gear and everything. It's absolutely incredible, and it's been a fantastic year. We picked a very, very good year to get this podcast off the ground. And we've had a fantastic time doing it and celebrating the successes and working our way through the tough times. So it's been great.
Yeah, I went to Universal Studios last weekend. I counted over 35 Dolphins fans. By far the team with the most gear anywhere. It's been revitalized. The Dolphins fandom is certainly on the up. So it was a great year. Hopefully the Dolphins win this week. We claim the AFC East. I'm very hopeful. I still think they can do it, and we'll go from there.
Excellent.
So until next week, as always, remember that when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Fins up, baby.
Fins
Fins
up.
up.
Playoff edition next week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there you go.